good riddance if you ask me. But in the meantime, I'm going to thank this shirt for its service. There's no negotiation. Or maybe I did notice, but I just didn't care. Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm so glad you could join me today because today I am doing a closet declutter. Now, these items behind me I am getting rid of, and I'm going to explain why throughout this video. Now, if you've seen any of my previous videos, you'll know that since I discovered my personal style and started over from scratch on my wardrobe almost 2 years ago now, you'll know that I've completely changed my philosophy and my mindset around personal style and the clothing that I now wear. Today, I focus on good fit, quality fabrics, and I also keep everything within a colour palette. So my colour palette is black, white and blue. And within the whites, I do branch out into neutrals. So everything that I add to my wardrobe does have to fit into those categories. I live in the Northern Hemisphere and right now we're moving from summer into autumn. And I find that this time of year is a fantastic time to do a closet kind of reassessment and declutter. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through each of these pieces and explain the mistakes I made basically and what I would do differently today. And at the end, I'm going to summarize it all nicely for you in the hopes that you'll be able to use the lessons I learned the hard way and so avoid making those mistakes yourself. I really hope you'll find it useful and let's get into it. The first item I'm going to declutter is this green sweater. Now, the mistake I made here is not focusing on the fabric. The fabric is entirely synthetic, and what it means is that this pretty looking jumper doesn't keep me warm at all when it gets cold, so it's pretty useless. In addition, I got the fit wrong. So this is a size, I think it was like, it's extra small, but it was designed to be a kind of boxy oversized fit. And what that means then is that it's big on me in the wrong places and small on me in the wrong places. So it just doesn't work. I bought it because of the colour, because back then I had a very kind of laissez-faire attitude to whatever colours I would add to my closet. And what that meant was that I had a closet full of mismatching pieces. Hardly any of it went together. It was an absolute hodgepodge. And while this colour is beautiful, it's just something I would incorporate a little bit more mindfully today, if that makes sense. But the main reason I'm decluttering this is for the fabric content. Synthetics are not good in a sweater. You need something that will keep you warm, because otherwise you're never going to reach for it. And that's what happened to me. You know, I just never ever reached for this one. So unfortunately, it's going to go. The next item I am going to declutter is this, again, very pretty dress from Quiz. Now, as you can see, it is a midi length, mini length, I mean, it's got a floral, colourful print. There's just so much about it that just isn't me anymore. I'm much more minimal in my style now, and I really love block colours as well. I love prints on other people, but I no longer like them on me, if that makes sense. So, and then the length of this dress is wrong for me as well. It's a mini length, and I found that even when I tried this on with a blazer, it didn't feel like me. So I've tried it a few different ways. I've tried to get it to work with what I now have in my closet and how I now kind of, you know, see myself and feel about myself, and it just doesn't work. So this is something that I enjoyed wearing in the past, but that I no longer enjoy wearing. So it's still in very good condition, so I'll try to find it a good home. And yeah, so this one is going to be leaving my closet as well. Keeping on the theme of dresses, and these dresses from H&M, as you can see, they're quite long. They're kind of a bodycon ribbed. I'll see if you can see the fabric actually. So it's a ribbed fabric, and I got one in beige and one in cream because I love those colours. So here I didn't make the colour palette mistake. I stuck with my colour palette, but what I didn't realise was that the hem length is just absolutely wrong for me. It hits me exactly at the knee, which is a really unflattering length. Unless you're a supermodel, that's going to be an unflattering length. So I was thinking about getting them taken up so that they're just above the knee. I think that would look lovely. But The hems on these are raw. Now, they could of course be taken up and improved, but frankly, this is just a sign of really low quality. I basically just made a mistake when I bought these dresses. Yeah, have to chalk it up to inexperience, I'm afraid. I spoke about the raw hem in my how to avoid being ripped off video, because even though I didn't pay very much for these dresses, they're from H&M and they weren't expensive, but it's still a waste of money when you don't really get much wear out of them, you know. And the raw hem was definitely not something I was expecting when the dresses arrived. So look, I thought I could make the best out of them, and I tried to for a while, but when I saw the hem, I should have just sent them back, to be honest. So again, just going to chalk these ones up to experience, and I'm not sure, I don't think I'll be able to find a second home for these, unfortunately. I think these are just going to have to be Marie Kondo style, thank them and let them go. The next item I'm going to declutter is this denim jacket, and the reason I'm decluttering it is very simple. It's because denim jackets are just not my personal style anymore. My personal style lends itself towards a lot of tailoring, so I love structured pieces. I'm quite curvy, and I find that structured pieces really do help give me shape and definition. So for example, I love a blazer for, you know, how it shapes out my shoulders, all of that type of thing. So a denim jacket is never going to give me structure and shape and definition to my satisfaction. They look great on other people, they don't look that great on me. I just have to accept that. And also, you know, denim, it's a very casual type of fabric, and I like my style a little bit on the formal side. So for a couple of reasons, it's not really my style. The other thing about this jacket as well is that it is a very difficult length on me. So it hits me just around my hip area, and that's my widest point. I don't want to be drawing attention to my widest point, so I don't want stuff hitting me on my hip area, in a nutshell. So for its, you know, fit, I'm going to declutter it. Its fit isn't right for me. And for its aesthetic, I'm going to declutter it as well, because again, the aesthetic isn't right for me. But it's in beautiful condition. It's a lovely quality piece. So I will absolutely be able to find this another home. The next piece I'm going to declutter, and this does break my heart a little bit, but it is this wool coat from Hobbs. Now, this was one of the pieces I bought early on when I started redoing my personal style. So I was so excited when I got this coat first. It's a beautiful wool coat. The fabric is gorgeous. You can see that the buttons are, oh, I don't know, can you see them? The buttons are absolutely beautiful. The detailing on the coat is wonderful. It's extremely warm, it's very roomy, so I can layer up to my heart's content underneath it. But the main problem I have with this coat is the silhouette and the hem length again. So I'm petite and I really want to lengthen my frame as much as I can, and so to do that I have to be very mindful about the pieces I choose. And this one hits me above the knees, and it's quite wide on as well. I'll put in a cutaway so you can see it. It's not unflattering, but I think a longer length is more flattering on me. For that reason, I will be using this coat from Ted Baker going forward instead of this lovely black one from Hobbs. This is a really beautiful quality coat, so I will probably be selling it because it's still got a lot of worth in it. You can even see I'm so reluctant to declutter it myself, but you know, I think it's time. The next item I'm decluttering are these jeans from Everlane. Now, they're called the 90s cheeky jean, and I know people wax lyrical about them, but on me, and I should mention, I bought these in the blue wash and the white wash, the bone colour. And the bone colour it fit a lot better on me. You find that sometimes with jeans, you know, the wash have different, you know, fits. It's like they shrink or they expand. I don't know why it happens exactly, but But certainly the two washes I got in the exact same jean, the 90s cheeky jean, fit differently on me. So I'm keeping the bone pair, but I'm going to be decluttering this blue pair. And the reason is they've just never ever looked right on my frame. They just round me out around the midsection, I think, even though they are a high-waisted jean, which, you know, I always go for high-waisted denim because I'm petite, I've got short legs, and I want to lengthen my legs as much as I can, and high-waisted jeans really help me to do that. So these are high-waisted. They have an 11-inch rise. Ideally, I prefer 12 inches. 12 inches is my minimum now, but 11 inches is still very flattering for the most part, but not in these jeans for some reason. So I'm going to be decluttering these, and honestly, I haven't worn them that much because of the way they don't fit on me. So they're still in excellent condition, not a mark on them. So I will be trying to find these a new home as well. Staying on the subject of jeans, and if you've seen any of my previous videos, you will have seen me wear these jeans before. They're from M&S and they're called the Magic Jean, and I have got, you know, quite a lot of happy wear out of them, but the problem is that there's 4% elastane in these jeans, and I'm noticing that they're starting to lose their shape. Now, I've only had them a year, so that's not very long. So, you know, I think high elastane contents in jeans is just something I'm personally going to try to avoid in future because it does shorten their lifespan. Before these started kind of loosening out and getting a little bit misshapen, I really did enjoy wearing them. The other thing I did as well was I got them hemmed up, and I think I got them hemmed up a little bit too aggressively. They're a little bit short on me, even for my short legs. My tailor brought them up to exactly where I asked her to take them up to. But yeah, I think I made the wrong decision on hem length, basically. So look, I'm going to chalk it up to experience. Learn from my mistakes, please. Be very careful when you get things hemmed, if you have to get them hemmed, where you get them taken up to, because you can't go back. So yeah, but it's mostly for the high elastane content and the fact that they're losing their shape that I'm going to be decluttering them. I'm going to be replacing them with these Goldie 90s pinch waist jeans. I have a pair of Goldies in my closet already, and they're incredibly flattering on and they suit my shape very, very well. So I want to stick to kind of the Goldie styles if I can for now. And so that's what I will be replacing this pair of jeans with. The next items I'll be decluttering from my wardrobe are these white sneakers from M&S. These sneakers have gotten less and less comfortable the more I've worn them, which is the first time that's ever happened to me with a pair of shoes. Now they are a cheap canvas sneaker, you know, frankly, they were false economy. I paid too little for them, and that's a mistake that I used to make in the past as well, before I started putting a little bit of thought and time and energy and effort into my closet. I did used to buy the cheapest version of what I wanted all of the time, and you know, sometimes it worked, but most of the time it didn't. And it really didn't for these. So I'm going to be decluttering these, good riddance if you ask me, sorry. And I will be replacing them with my dream sneaker. I will be trying to replace these with the Golden Goose Pure Stars. They're very much my style of sneaker. They're white, they're unembellished, and they have a slight platform. I've read that they have very good support, which these do not have. So support in sneakers is something very important to me. So the Golden Goose ones are the ones I have my eye on. So we'll see how long it takes for me to get them. But in the meantime, these have to go. And last but not least, this lovely shirt from Massimo Dutti is on my chopping block. And this is such a shame because I only bought this at the beginning of this year. You will have seen it in my new in for spring video, and I've worn it a lot this year. So this shirt, like any shirt, is so versatile to wear. You can wear it in multiple ways. I've done so, I've really enjoyed it, but the reason I'm going to declutter it is because I really think I should have sized up in this. So I got my usual size, a Euro 38, which is usually plenty, but this one just isn't as slouchy as I would have liked. I would like this type of shirt, which I which I would wear in kind of spring and summer to be a little bit breezier, a little bit slouchier. Now I'm very slow to size up sometimes because I am petite, I'm 5'2", and what that means is sometimes when I size up I end up looking like I'm drowning in the fabric. So, but I think if I had sized up 1 in this shirt, it would be absolutely perfect. So I'm going to look and see if Massimo Dutti still stock these. I know they bring them back in every spring season. Hopefully I won't have to wait that long. A blue and white striped shirt is pretty much a staple anyway. I'm sure I'll be able to find it somewhere else, even if Massimo Dutti aren't stocking it at the moment. But yeah, so basically that was it. It was a simple kind of mistake in the fit. And again, that's just experience. So I'm going to chalk that one up. But in the meantime, I'm going to thank this shirt for its service and let it go. So some themes will have emerged as I spoke about decluttering these pieces. And the themes that really stood out for me were things like fit. You know, sometimes I buy the wrong size, or I get the wrong fit, or I don't return something in time, even if the fit is not quite right. That is a learning for me. That's something I'm going to change going forward. From now on, when I get something in the door, if the fit isn't 100% right for me, I am going to send it back. There's no negotiation, because otherwise I'm just going to start reaching for it less and less, and it's going to end up being a waste of money. The second recurring theme that stood out to me was fabric. So good quality fabric is so important, and it's something I used to ignore again and again in the past. So the sage coloured jumper that you saw at the beginning is a classic example of that. It was entirely made of synthetics. I didn't notice that until after I'd bought it, or maybe I did notice but I just didn't care. Stupid, because what that meant was that it didn't have any functionality. This is a sweater that's supposed to keep you warm when it's cold. Synthetic sweaters do not keep me warm, and that's that. So, and that applies for all of my clothes now. I look at the fabric content first, and I try not to buy anything with a high synthetic fabric content. Some synthetic fabric content is fine, of course. So for example, if I'm looking at a mohair sweater and it's mixed with polyamide or a little bit of acrylic, that's usually to make the sweater softer and less itchy on the skin. That's fine, I don't mind that. But as long as it's kind of under 50% synthetic, that would be my absolute max. And I prefer it to be under 30%, to be honest with you. So that's a learning I've made the expensive way. And I really hope you can avoid it, because not buying good quality fabrics can be quite a pricey mistake to make in the longer term. At least that's what I found. Going back to fit for a second, the hemlines are extremely important for me as well. So I've talked about, you know, mini hemlines. I've talked about short hemlines like the mini dress that I showed you at the beginning, the floral mini dress, and also hemlines that hit me at the wrong place, such as at the knee, for example. Again, I am petite, so I always need to look at lengthening my frame, which means that cropped items or long items that fall below the knee are always going to look the most flattering on me. One more note about synthetic fabric content as well. The jeans with the high percentage of elastane just haven't lasted. There's 4% elastane in them, and what I'm finding more and more is that when I look for jeans now, I actually look for 1% elastane, no more. You can go to 2%, but for me personally, 1% elastane is the highest I'll go. It still gives it a bit of comfort and a bit of stretch, but means that the jean also won't lose its shape over time. So that's an important lesson that I'm going to take forward with me as I choose new jeans for my closet. I hope you've enjoyed this video and found it useful. Please consider giving the video a thumbs up. It really helps the video reach more people and helps out the channel a lot. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. I post new videos every week. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye! good riddance if you ask me. But in the meantime, I'm going to thank this shirt for its service. There's no negotiation. Or maybe I did notice, but I just didn't care. Stupid.